What's up guys? So I am back with another video today. So I have been on Twitter, and for the past week or two I've been seeing a lot of people just having debates, or not even debates, just really just posting a ton of different looks about what they think a soft glam is. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I achieve my soft glam looks on my clients. So I will be doing my makeup a little bit differently today. But before we start, I did want to pretty much I just want to give a huge shout out to the Ipsy Open Studios family. About a month and a half ago, I did go to my first Ipsy event. It was in New York. I had a great time. It was a great experience. So I did sign up to receive the benefit and Ipsy, pretty much like a small PR package. So pretty much it's all of Benefit's best sellers. So they did send me a ton of stuff here. So I'm going to be using some of those products in today's video. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and prep our skin before we put any foundation on it. So I already put on a moisturizer earlier today, so I'm just going to jump right into my primer. So I'm going to be using the Professional Primer. This is from Benefit. This is a really old school primer. It's been out for quite some time, and pretty much just to make a long story short, it helps to minimize the look of pores. So it's pretty much just going to help fill fine lines, pores, anything like that. And this is a brand new bottle. So I'm just going to squirt a little bit on my hands here, just a small amount. And I'm just gonna work that in between my hands. And I'm going to apply that right to pretty much the center of my face. My face has been so dry lately. Wintertime really did my face so dirty this year. It's not even funny. Okay, so when doing a soft glam, just from what I've experienced, it really creates a different look when you do your eyebrows after you do your foundation. And I do know that for a lot of people that is difficult. You have to kind of have more of a steady hand, a little bit more precise in order to do this, but it's just a certain type of look. I don't know how to explain it, but it looks different. The way that your brows look once you put them on after the foundation, it just gives a different look than if I were to fill them in beforehand, at least just with me personally. So just to start out, I'm gonna go ahead and now apply my foundation. So I'm not using any special foundations today. I'm going to be mixing my foundations. Personally, I feel like to get the most custom look to yourself, you're just always going to have to blend. I feel like there's very rarely been a time where I've been able to apply a foundation with just one single shade. So I'm going to be mixing my Maybelline Matte and Poreless and this CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation. So I really like the two of these together because and this is in the shade 340. So 340 is actually a pretty decent color for me in the summertime, but now it's just way too dark. And then this CoverGirl is just too light, but I feel like the two of them together kind of have a very similar undertone. And this color that I have in the CoverGirl is in T10, and this is in the shade Golden Amber. So what I'm going to do is, I just like to mix my foundations on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to pour out just a little bit. Oh, girl, scoop that back up in there because I don't have time. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the CoverGirl. This is ran through. Need to get some more. And I'm going to put that on the back of my hand as well. I'm just going to take my foundation brush. This is just a random Wet n Wild brush. It's kind of ran through, just mind your business. So I'm going to take that. I'm literally just going to mix the two of these together. So I am going to just lightly apply this. Lately, I've been just kind of feeling the less is more. So with this soft glam, we definitely want our skin to be flawless, but you don't want to put too much on, only because when you start putting a ton of layers on, it's really gonna start looking like too much, and you don't want to OD. So you want to make sure that you're getting a really nice even coverage all over your face, but we don't want to have it caked on though at the same time. So as you can see, I'm doing like a nice combination of kind of rubbing it in, and then on top of that I'm also patting it in certain areas as well. And you see how, since my eyebrows aren't filled in, how I can just easily just glide the foundation brush like right over my brows. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna slightly lighten my eyebrows. Now that we have that on, we're gonna go ahead and move on to concealing. So the first concealer that I'm gonna use is just very old school. So this is the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. I don't know about y'all, but I really feel like this concealer shade is really one of a kind. Like, I've had a lot of different concealers. I've tried a lot of different concealers, and I do feel like this fawn color, there's just not too many concealer shades that I feel like are this color. Like, either they're too neutral, it's too dark. Like, this is just perfect, at least for me. Go ahead and blend it in with my Super Ran Through Fenty Beauty sponge. And I am just patting this in. So with your beauty blender, you never want to really rub with this. Always want to pat in with your beauty blender. Now I'm going to move to a slightly lighter concealer. Still using the LA Girl. This is in the shade Pure Beige. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this color right in kind of like that hollow part of my eye here. I'm just gonna let it sit there, and then I'm gonna drag a nice line down the center of my nose. So I'm gonna let this chill. I'm gonna be using the Danessa Myricks Vision Cover Cream in the shade W7. This is pretty much my favorite thing to contour my face with. So this is like a little goes a really long way, so you really don't have to OD on this. I'm just going to squirt it just a little bit, and literally this tiny ass line, this actually might have been too much, but like, you dead ass don't need a lot of this at all. So I'm just gonna take my same foundation brush, and I am, like, you see how much that is? Like, wow. So the way that I like to work with this product, I like to kind of bring it down slowly, but also pulling it back towards your ear at the same time. So now we're gonna go ahead and blend out the rest of this concealer. So now that we have all of our cream colors and liquid foundations and concealers down on our face, we're gonna go ahead and set everything. So my favorite powder ever is gonna be the Ben Nye Banana Powder. I know that everybody just has moved on to bigger and better things, but I'm just gonna stay where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be using the Morphe sponge. I know these are all dirty, like, just please don't be like me. Clean your personal brushes, clean your personal sponges, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, put this right on this, and honestly, both of my beauty blenders are dry. I've just kind of gotten to the point where I feel like I just like using my sponges dry, personally, on myself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set everything. So what I'm doing, I'm taking the powder onto the sponge, dry sponge, and I'm gonna just pat the product into my face. So now that we went ahead and set everything, all of our light areas with that lighter banana powder, now I'm gonna go into my contour kit. This is like Old Faithful. And I really love this contour kit for a couple different reasons. I just feel like it really has like a lot of nice warm colors. And this is kind of like my cheat code that I use to kind of match my face with the rest of my body. Like, I have a very like golden-y undertone, but I kind of have to do a lot of illusions in order to make sure everything is kind of the right color. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pretty much be using all of the ones on the first row. So sometimes I'll mix all of them together. Sometimes I'll only use these last two. Sometimes, well, I use only the first one for my nose. So since we're gonna do my face, I'm gonna just mix all three of them together. And I'm just going to, same thing I did with the cream product. I'm just gonna make sure that I am starting on the outside, kind of working it upwards, working it towards my mouth area here. And then we're going to bring it onto the forehead. And this is gonna kind of just turn everything on my forehead down because it can be a little bright. So now I'm going to take, this is my Morphe brush. I don't even know what kind of brush this is. It doesn't even say it. I'm just taking a Morphe brush. It's kind of like a tightly packed, dense brush. I'm just going to be taking this first color here. And I'm literally going to just run this down the side of my nose. So when I'm doing my nose contour, I really like to work the powders like right up into my brow. And this is just going to give like the most natural contoured appearance. So you really don't want to use like powders that are too dark because I mean it's your nose. And then on top of that, I mean my nose is a pretty decent shape, so I don't really do too much to where I have to create the illusion of a whole new nose. I'm kind of just following it. Now that we have that put down, I am going to bake in certain areas. So I'm going to be using the flat part of the Morphe sponge, which is actually my favorite part of this sponge. Like, it's bomb. And I'm just going to take this and cut all the way down to my mouth. And then I'm just gonna pull down the extra. So we're gonna do the same thing for our nose. I'm going to take this right up the side of my nose here, and then I'm gonna pull it away. Same thing on this side. It's gonna look like this. And then we're just going to take it right up the middle, just like that. So this is how we're gonna leave it for now. Our face is gonna be done, and we're gonna move on to our brows. Now that we're about to do brows, I'm going to be using our Benefit products. So today I'm going to be using the Precisely My Brow Pencil, and this is in the shade 6. So we're gonna start off by just brushing through our brows with the spoolie. And I'm very simple with my eyebrows. I'm literally just going to kind of fill them in and define them, but I'm not really going to create too much of a new brow. And then we're just going to conceal it just to clean everything up. Like I said, I'm just going to take the pencil here. And I like to kind of start off, hold on, let me move my mirror so I can see what I'm getting. So I'm just going to kind of start, I'm trying to do my best so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna start right on the bottom. And we're just gonna draw a line right on the bottom. So just some quick tips for when if you're choosing to be a person to do brows after foundation. I've noticed that the easiest way to do that is if you have a brow product that is extremely pigmented, okay? And you want to always make sure that you're being extremely careful when it comes to the top of the brow. So like the bottom of the brow, you're going to use concealer. So if that gets a little bit messy, it's okay because you can just clean it up. But on the top, you kind of want to make sure you're being as clean as possible, because if you don't have to clean it up with concealer, then you kind of don't want to. It's just going to kind of make it blend more cohesively than to try and put concealer on top of kind of like all the powder and foundation you already have on. So I went ahead and extended my tail just a little bit because my tail is not that long. And I'm literally just going to trace the top now. So now I'm just going to lightly fill this all in. So literally exactly like I said, I'm really not doing too much to my brows. I'm very grateful to God and to myself because I officially waxed my own eyebrows. And if you guys would like to see a video on how I wax my own eyebrows and the products and things that I bought in order to do so, please let me know so I can do that video for you in the future. But I waxed my own eyebrows, and ever since I started waxing my own eyebrows, my brow shape has completely grown back in the way that I would have preferred. So I don't really have to do too much now to my eyebrows. So as you can see, I'm just literally just taking the spoolie through my brows. And this is pretty much it. I'm gonna clean it up with concealer, but I'm really a big fan of really trying to make sure that my brow looks as precise as possible, to the point where concealer, I'm literally just sharpening it up, but I'm not really carving out my eyebrow, if that makes sense. Finally, just to finish off our brows, I am going to be using the 24-Hour Brow Setter by Benefit. And this brow gel is clear. I'm literally just going to use that to kind of push up the brow hairs and just keep everything in place. So this is going to be the same palette that I use to contour my face. So this is what I'm going to use on my eyes. And this is really what I do on my clients. Whenever I'm doing like a soft glam, I'm not really going too crazy with the eyeshadows, and the lid color is going to be the same color that I use to highlight their cheeks. I just feel like it's just more cohesive this way, and this is just the way I prefer to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this same Moda brush. I'm just going to blend out that concealer line that kind of sunk into the fine lines of my eyes. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did blend some of my concealer from under my eyes up to the top of my eyes. So it pretty much did 2 steps in one, so that I didn't have to go back and apply concealer like on my eyes right now and then blend it out. So I'm just going to be taking any old random fluffy brush. This is the tapered eyeshadow brush from Ruby Kisses. And I'm literally just going to go into these last 2 colors here. And I'm going to be using that, make sure to tap off the excess. I'm just going to be putting that right into my crease. So I'm really using the shape of my eye to really just create a very simple look. So as you can see, I'm really pushing the eyeshadow like up towards my eyebrow. So I'm going to start on the outer V of my eye, and I'm going to push that up right into this crease. So it's damn near blending into my nose contour. And that's what you want. Push it up into your eyebrow, push it into your nose contour, and really blend it out. I'm just going to take this double-ended brush. So one side's kind of like a blender brush, other side is more of a pencil brush. I'm going to take the pencil side and go in to the darkest shade. And I'm literally just going to apply this right on that outside. So what a lot of people don't understand with makeup is that a lot of different brushes apply product differently. So sometimes you can be literally using the same exact eyeshadow, but if you use like a fluffy, kind of like a fluffy blending brush and then use a more tightly packed dense brush, it can appear as if you're using a darker shade, but it's only because the tightly dense brush is going to be picking up much more product than what a taper blending brush would. So like I said, I didn't want to make this too dark, so that's why I'm just going to go in with the pencil brush, and that's just going to slightly add a little bit more depth to my crease without having to go on with a darker shade. So I'm literally just going to brush using the same pencil brush. I'm just going to brush this foundation, not foundation, excuse me. I'm just going to brush this darker shade right underneath. And all that's going to do is it's just going to kind of level out the top and the bottom. I'm going to be taking the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold palette, and this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to be using these two colors, so this first one and the last one. So it's going to be the original Bar of Gold and then Gold Button that I'm going to be mixing together. I'm literally just going to place that right on the lid of my eye. Same thing on this side. And then that's going to be it. Now that we have our lashes applied, we're going to go ahead and finish up the rest of our face now to complete our soft glam look. I'm going to use the same brush that I used by Moda to blend out my eyebrow concealer and also smooth out the concealer on my eyelids. And this is what I'm going to use to help blend in this nose contour. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just brushing all of this in. So I'm not tapping it away, I'm literally just blending it in right into my nose. I'm going to switch back to my foundation brush. I'm going to do the same thing with the powder on my cheeks. As you can see, it's literally just disappearing right onto my face. Then just to kind of reinforce that contour, I'm just going to take that same angled brush that still has like some left over product from when I did contour my face, just to blend out. And now we're gonna jump to blush. So I am actually using a liquid lipstick to do my blush today. This is from, oh my gosh, I hope I don't pronounce this wrong. I think it's pronounced, I received this inside of a package of products that I received from Ipsy. And this is in the shade Pin Up. Very pretty color. So this is what the color looks like. Perfect. A little too pink to go on my lips personally, but I love this as blush. So I'm going to be using the e.l.f. foundation blurring brush. It looks like this. And this is what I'm going to be using to apply my blush. So I'm literally just going to slightly tap that onto my face, and I'm literally just applying it damn near right over my contour. And as you can see, this added like a nice, like kind of like a nice wash of color. Like I don't want it to be super pigmented, but just a nice wash. So it's kind of warming up my face. I'm gonna go back in with the Charlotte Tilbury palette, and I'm gonna be using the same two colors, the first and the last one. And I'm gonna start out with the first one first, which is, see, I think it's called Gold Button. I'm literally just going to turn my head slightly. I'm going to apply that right on that high point of my cheek. And then I'm going to apply that right on the tip of my nose. down the bridge, and then on my chin. And then this is a new thing I've been doing, but I'm gonna apply it kind of on my forehead a little bit, just not too much, but boom. Then I'm gonna take a lighter shade. I'm gonna apply this right on the very top high point. So this is not a color that you want to blend out all over your face. This is literally just gonna go right on the very top of that. Boom. Right on the nose. Right on the bridge. Bop. And I don't even think I'm gonna put it on my forehead. This is gonna kind of give you that very intense highlighter look. Very intense, like you in the club, and you can see my highlighter, period. Now I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon, and this is gonna be in the shade Enjoy the View. So this is a really nice, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like a dark pink. I think I want it a little bit brighter, so I'm gonna go in with my MAC and Nicki Minaj collab lipstick. This is in the shade Nicki's Nude. Just gonna apply a little bit. Just blend that out. Then I'm gonna take my cheap ass lip gloss from the hair store for the hot dollar and just finish it up. So to go ahead and add the finishing touches onto my look, I am going to be using the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. Woohoo! And now we are done. So this is my take on the Perfect Soft Glam. I think that this look is literally perfect for any event. This is kind of like my go-to makeup look. If I'm going out, if I'm taking pictures, anything where I really want to be cute and have my face done, like this is kind of like my go-to makeup look. I really love it a lot. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and I will be back next time. Thanks, guys.